Coming back to Christopher Moore's circle of conflict, instead of focusing on this tool for diagnosing the drivers of conflict, we're going to look at the second use of this model. That is how it might inform us, in terms of our interventions. Conflicts driven by values can be particularly intractable and difficult to resolve. If the circle of conflict leads you to a diagnosis of values conflict, Moore suggests to avoid defining the problem in terms of value. Try and get participants to agree to disagree. Create spheres of influence in which one set of values dominates but not in the other. Search for superordinate goals or higher-level values that parties share. If through the circle of conflict you diagnose that the conflict is driven by relationships, this model guides the practitioner to do things like control the expression of emotions by developing procedures, ground rules, caucuses, and so forth. Provide processes that promote the constructive expression of feelings and emotions. Clarify any negative perceptions and build positive perceptions of the other party. Improve the quality and the flow of communication. Block negative repetitive behavior by changing the structure. Encourage positive problem-solving attitudes. If you diagnose that the conflict is being driven by structural factors, the circle encourages the practitioner to intervene by clearly defining and changing roles. Replacing destructive patterns. Reallocate the ownership or control of resources. Establish decision-making processes, which are fair and acceptable to both parties. Shift negotiation processes from positional to interest-based, so to get below that iceberg. To change the physical and environmental relationship of parties to modify external pressures on parties. To change time constraints by providing either more or less time. If you diagnose the conflict has been driven by data factors, the task of intervention for the practitioner may be v. Reaching an agreement on what data is important. Agreeing on the process for collecting data. Developing common criteria to assess data. Using third-party experts to gain outside opinion or to break deadlocks. To reorient conflict towards interests is, broadly speaking, a constructive approach. Focus on interests, not on positions. Look for objective standards and criteria to guide solution development. Develop integrative solutions that address all the needs of the parties that are creative. Search for ways to expand the options for the resources. Develop trade-offs to try and satisfy the interests of differing strengths.